Hello, hello. Welcome in. Sorry for the late start. Try to start a little extra early tomorrow and make up for it. Hey, Ferlansky. How's it going? You say it looks so nearly fixed when you dropped off yesterday. Did the last bugs get fixed? Yeah. We just had to fix this one mirroring. Oh, that's not the right scene. We had to introduce this mirror for the x-axis, and that, I think, resolved the remaining issues. At least with single layer stuff. So this part works. There's definitely some bugs, but not with the autotiler per se. This all works now. Pretty beautiful. And it works just with the preview tile as well, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, we were auto-tiling, and it does look clean. It feels good. We should also be able to do it with the walls. There's an issue. Well, that's wrong. Oh, I understand what's happening there. There's one thing we need to do, which is incomplete. It's not a bug, we just didn't program it. We need to add floors under walls. So right now the walls override the floors. So where there is a wall, there isn't a floor, but we actually want both. So we need to do that. That's one thing we need to do. We also have a hard bug. Like if I hit eraser, it crashes. So let's look at that first. LF tile blocks chords are the block type. Are the same as our block type. Invalid access to property or key. We already have an if tile blocks has up here. We should probably put the erase mode inside this if else. Quality of life thing. Should drawing a square with walls be hollow rather than filled in like the floors to make a room? Yeah, you're probably right. I never thought of that. That should be easy to do. We just draw a ring around the outside. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Let's see if we can implement that after we fix some of these bugs. Oh, I'm feeling allergic. I forgot to take my allergy meds. I'm gonna run and do that right now. Be right back. Yeah, I was gonna plan on doing what you're saying here with the straight line, of walls, but it could be both. Because if you're drawing a wall like that, but you only do one thickness, it would only draw, or if you're drawing a room like you described, and you've only done one, like a line that's only one thickness, one tile thick along one of the axes, that could just be a wall. And then if you drag it out into an area, then it could become a room. So we can do both. That's a good idea. All right, so this needs to go into... needs to go into here. So if we're in erase mode, block type, if the block type is a floor, then we erase this. Otherwise, if the tile blocks is the same as our block type, make a floor. Should this just be an else? Should this not be an elif? If it's any other block type, it should just make a floor, right? Not if it's the same as this. So the other tile types are all exclusive. Yeah, this could probably just be an else. And down here, if it's not erase mode, we do that. Okay, then we'll throw this down again in here. This doesn't, we don't need this. We don't need either of these. We'd say not equal to floor. We could say that too here. We could say is not equal to floor. Both is good. If there's no use for a double thick wall, then use straight line logic until the mouse is 3 tiles away from that wall. Then snap to drawing a hollow room, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does. But I think double thick walls are useful. And we can just allow a double thick wall to be drawn. We can just say something like, if you're drawing an area, place a wall along the outer edges of the area. And then that just solves every case. If the thickness is 1, it just draws 1. If the thickness is 2, it draws 2, because that's both the outer area. And then if it's more than 2, it just has hollow space in the middle. Or what it probably does is it doesn't interfere. It just doesn't draw. It's not going to like replace what's in the middle. Although maybe it should. No, it's not going to. Probably. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we end up with. Get rid of that. Block type. So if erase mode, tile blocks is not equal to floor. And we don't need an else here. That should solve that particular crash. Let's see. See if it does. Okay, it isn't crashing, but it's also not doing... Oh, there we go. Oh. So something is happening. That was weird. Let's... Oh, and now it's crashing again. Place block at. Fair enough. If double thick walls are a use case, you're keen to see where this goes. Well, a double thick wall will just... We would just use that for like a more heavily armored ship, probably. So you could lose a wall and not lose, like, containment of a room. Like, your outer hull should probably be 2 walls thick. Probably. We'll do some interesting stuff with that, with shipbuilding. So we're having the same issue here, which is that pending blocks coords is not valid. You're starting to see the vision. The game is going to be so good. I appreciate that. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Yeah, we'll see how simulation heavy we end up being, but we at least want to do the basic stuff with compartments. Like, if a wall gets blown out, all the air will be sucked out into space and stuff like that. That seems like a core starship interaction. All right, so if erase mode, the block type is the same as the floor. Oh, pending blocks is null. So we are using null for the pending blocks. Right, that makes sense. We're also using null for the hidden blocks. The only place we're not using null is in the tile blocks. Which maybe we'll switch to doing that. We would need to switch the tile blocks to like an array instead of like a dictionary. But we're not going to do that right now. That's like a future optimization. So elif pending blocks coords is equal to block type. So pending blocks coords doesn't exist is the problem. So we need like a if pending blocks has. Replace block at. This is what I call when we're... I only call it here, right? Because it's different than a preview. Okay, so we only call it here. You're keen to see how I program the air pressure mechanic with the rooms being drawn by players. That'll be some interesting logic to recognize and include space. We already do that. We already do that. That's this part. The partition partition ship space. We flood fill each room. And the first room that we flood fill is the outside, is outer space. So like partition 0 is every outer space tile. And then each other partition is like a given room. So it's dynamic, it can handle any number of rooms. It doesn't handle like diagonals. Like you could have like a tile here and a tile here that are at a diagonal and the other two tiles are empty. It'll get tricked by situations like that maybe, but we can constrain. Eno wants to pick the radio station. Let's do it. I'm working on, I think I have a Twitch chat action that lists out the stations. I think it was too long. So let me see if I can shorten it and get it to print. Give me 1 second. And how's it going, Edomoth? How's your week been so far? There's like a 500 character limit, I think, for like a Twitch chat message that my bot can send. And I think I ran into it. I'm trying to just trim the message a little bit right now. You thought there was no music? Oh, is it really quiet? Okay. Let me try to fix that. All right, almost done. We're going to see if this works. And then what's the command for this? The stations. Stations. It still doesn't read. That wasn't it. Okay, I'm gonna figure out why I can't get that to work. Let's turn the music up a little. If you don't want to pick a radio station, I'm gonna refund you. Yeah, you derailed me pretty bad, but it's fine. I'm genuinely trying to improve like the stream interaction stuff. So it's something I need to work on. I'm also trying to learn StreamerBot, so it's like a good exercise. I'm trying to learn the limits of StreamerBot. It's always nice when you're appreciated at work, though. Because I feel like if you're doing a good job at work, a lot of people won't even notice. All right, so here's our problem that we were in the middle of. Pending blocks doesn't exist. And aren't we doing a checkup here about that? We're saying if not pending blocks dot has coords, replace block at. So we can't be checking pending block because it specifically does not have this. Or if we're calling this function, it doesn't exist there. Okay, so that was ridiculous. So we need to just get rid of this whole reference to this. Do we even need an erase mode here? Replace reveal hidden block at. We're handling that here, right? Although, wait, no, we do an erase mode for this, so we need tile blocks. We need to change it to this. We actually just need to take this and plug this in here. There it is. I see, I see. Yeah, the 8-ball. I'm back into focus mode. Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention. I don't have a lot of time today. I kind of started late. I need to be better at starting earlier. I don't know why I totally have the pending block structure. Actually, I do know why. So we should just do this. Trying to fix a crash we're experiencing with the eraser. We got the autotiler working. Show you in a minute, you know. This isn't right. Why did I do this? Oh, look at this. If erase mode, block type. Oh, I indented this too much. There we go. I over indented. This is an argument for maybe introducing null back in. so that this could be consistent. Okay, I think that works now. Let's see. Yeah. Look at that sweet auto tile. What if we try to erase? Here's the problem. Watch this. So we do this. These tiles still think they're part of the inner hull until I do this. Until I like drag the... Oh. Curious. It considers the eraser a tile. How is that the case? I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's also not what we want. Like, it's maybe kind of cool during the preview, but when the preview's over, it's not what we want. Like, it's kind of cool. And then when we release, we'd want that to go away, and we want it to go back to like this. So first, let's try to understand why this part is happening. So that's in our hull types code. Get hull types. Ship hull.tile blocks. Ship hull is equal to block type. So we're not updating tile blocks somehow. Ship hull is match block type. enum.block.floor. Hull types coords. Enum hull.middle. Yeah, it thinks it's a floor when it's really an empty space. How are we getting to that point? Considering the eraser, a tile makes sense when you're hovering over a tile you might delete, not when next to one. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't mind it as a thing if you're removing a tile. I don't mind it taking a minute to acknowledge that. We would need to add some logic here to handle that. So if we're in erase mode, if the block type is not equal to a floor, otherwise we just erase this. Oh, tile blocks coords equals pending blocks. We change block when we enter erase mode? I don't think we do. We shouldn't. Let me make sure we aren't doing that. Oh no, we are doing that. Change block type enum block null. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Something simple like the tiles aren't being told to rethink their colors after you erase something. I think it has to do with that null, which we're inconsistently using, but let's see. Oh, we're back to crashing. Block type. Non-existent function call erase in base integer. What? Base integer? Dictionaries not having a... They do have an erase function. I'm almost sure of it. Oh, I'm doing that wrong. Okay, I understand. Let's go through and find these. Yeah, it's dictionary dot erase coords. I'm keying into the value and then trying to erase. That's wrong. Yeah, so it's that. Yeah, I'm doing it correctly everywhere else. Let's try that. All right, we got ads. Just gonna fiddle around while the ads run. Yeah, it seems to be working. It's not doing the cool thing that we would have liked. Oh, that's not good. When we are turning off... Why is that going to the... Oh, there's something weird happening when we switch from eraser to non-eraser. It's leaving a wall behind. Or a floor. It's leaving something behind. That's messy. An ad with jump scare. Nice. Inverse problem now, right? Correct color after delete, but doesn't show the dark color when hovering. Yeah, that is less of a problem. It would be cool to do that, but it's also maybe realistic that it doesn't, because it's previewing you what it will look like if you do the thing. So we could maybe make it more complicated. Or we can, instead of doing an eraser preview, we can make it more like the visibility tool that we have. Like a highly constrained version of the visibility cutaway thing. We could change the way it works. But right now I want to clean up what I messed up with the eraser. So we don't change the block, we change the mode. We need to do a try reveal. Oh, because change block type has a reveal. Yeah, it has reveal hidden chords at. Or reveal hidden block at. Add that back in. That should fix that issue at least. Yeah, okay, it's not doing that anymore. It's not leaving ghost objects. Maybe we want to change how the eraser works, because if we have a wall and we switch to eraser mode, it won't delete anything because it's trying to delete the walls and there aren't any walls. So maybe the eraser tool is more generic and it just deletes the upper level of something. So like if you have a wall and you want to erase the wall, it's there. You can erase it. And you'll erase that first. And then if you want to erase the floor, that's like the next level for the eraser tool. So it's like almost like the Sprite shader tool. It like goes down one level each time, or up, or whatever. Yeah, so we don't get the dark inner wall thing, which is a shame, but otherwise this is working correctly. I need to get floors being drawn under walls. That's like my priority right now. Berlansky gifted a tier 1 sub to Enomoth. It's your first gift sub in the channel. Thank you so much, Forlansky. Oh, you know, Moth, you were looking good. You were looking good there with your sub badge. Ship them if you got them. Really appreciate that, Forlansky. That's so kind. But you're gonna say all of it's just details? Yeah. I was talking about this on Two Nerdy Nerd stream yesterday. My process is to... Whatever I work on is just the thing that's most obviously wrong. So I'm just looking at the game, seeing what feels like to me is most obviously wrong, and that's the thing that I work on. And that's what we're doing. So to me, the next most obviously wrong thing is that we aren't rendering both a wall and a floor. Like, we aren't placing floors when we place walls. Or we aren't rendering floors when we place walls. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to need to do this a little differently. I almost want subtypes for each layer, because we have like a wall layer class and a floor layer class. I almost want to move some of these functions down there, down to the lower classes, or the more specific classes, so we don't have all this crazy branching logic for the given floor type. Considering the bugs it had less than a week ago, this looks awesome. Yeah, I agree. Hydrate, Adagon. Appreciate it. I haven't run out of coffee yet, so I haven't started drinking water, but I'll have some water. How are things going? What jam are you doing this weekend? Oh yeah, GMTK. Sweet. We're with your team. Sorry, I have the memory of like a goldfish. I'm gonna do the solo, the Practical NPC and Captain Coder solo dev game jam next weekend, not this weekend. That'll be fun. I'm excited I signed up for it because it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do the next Ludum Dare. So I'm glad I'm getting a jam in this fall. But I'm gonna be sad not to do Ludum Dare this year, or do a second Ludum Dare this year. All right, so we are adding additional logic to our hull type thing so that we can draw floors under walls. So right now, yeah, I really do kind of want to push this down. Then I have to push all of them down, but that makes sense because the get Atlas chords one I also think I want on a lower level. We're just going to have the branching logic here, and we'll get rid of the branches in the future. So if ship, unless I get upset with them and frustrated, then we're just going to go ahead and do what I'm describing. Because yeah, our problem here right now is that we can draw our floor, we can draw our wall, but if you'll notice, we're not drawing a... Oh, this is wrong, by the way. It's showing an interior wall tile when I do that. That's perplexing. So there's some logical problems with hull type, get hull type. But yeah, there's no floors being drawn under the walls right now. Oh, I just tried to undo. The undo function does not work right now. We're gonna have to redo that as well. All right, so how are we getting to this? How are we getting this? Oh, because it's just an else, huh? Elif ship hull dot compartments 0 has this. Okay, so we're Our flood fill is not working under a specific case. That's fine. We can figure that out. This is our problem, and breaking this out is going to be confusing. I think we just want to push this down to the next layer here. This is a built-in function, so let's put this on top. We're going to move these down. We're going to move... We're going to move everything from here down up to about here. So all of this is going down. Going down one level to the actual type of layer that we're using. So this is for like the wall layer. So we can get rid of like this. Because we are not... So we can get rid of this match statement. Because this was about to explode in terms of like the amount of branching we were going to have for each different type of hull. Or type of block, not hull. And then down here we can do something similar, though not yet. I'm actually not super familiar with some of this stuff, so I want to call this from here, and it's going to call a specific version of get hull types. Like if I want to do this, I want to get hull types and then reset tile IDs and then set tile cells. If get hull types is a class, is like a different version of this function, and then I leave the other, I can leave the other functions actually as super functions right now. I can actually get rid of these because these don't need to be specific to this variant yet. So I'm actually going to get rid of these. But we'll leave this here, the tile block replace, because we want it to call the correct version of this script or this function. So if so we're not concerned with walls actually. We're actually concerned with floors. So let's go back, let's grab this and then go to our, do we have a floor layer version of this? We do not. We have a wall layer and a door layer. We also want a floor layer. And we need to put this on here. Okay, so this has a different script. So we actually just need to detach these scripts and put on the ones that we want. So like you, oh, you're also using the ship layer. Okay, so we want to detach all these scripts and put on specific scripts. We're actually going to build this a little differently. Oh, you got some new emotes? Sweet. Give them to me. Yeah, hit me. Had it gone D? Nice. So we're going to do a new inherited scene from shiplayer.scene. This one is going to be called floor layer. It's going to... Oh, these are good. Adagon Rich. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Oh, hey, Stork. How's it hanging? The other two are pending approval. Typical. How are you doing today? How are you doing today, Stork? We're making some variants of our layers here. We need to attach specific variants of these scripts. Floor layer script. Starting to fall out of love with my organizational principle here for this project. It's starting to get big enough where organizing by data type is becoming a little unwieldy. We might end up flipping it and organizing by like concept or entity or something like that. Okay, floor layer. So floor layer extends ship layer. And right now, this is the only function that you need. Actually, you need two functions. You need that function and this function. Floor layer scene, yeah. We need another scene, inherited scene. Also inherited from ship layer. Attach that script. Get our correct script here. You're good? Good. Organization by Rand. Yeah, yeah, let's do that. Let's have our file structure just randomize itself over time. Let's just put entropy into our file structure system. So this is a wall layer. We're going a little deep on inheritance here, but should be fine. Should save us some annoying branching logic. Okay, so these are good. They both inherit. So I need to set up their default stat here. So you're a wall by default. And you're a floor by default. All right, now we need to rebuild this deck scene a little bit. We get rid of these. Late related animation tracks. I don't know, man. What animation tracks? Bit flip. Yeah. Let's have like an uncertainty principle. Like, I don't know where the file is until I observe it. Or if I have a high certainty that I know where the file is, I don't know what it's named, and vice versa. There's some stuff we could do. All right. So we add 3 floor layers. We name them X, Y, and Z. So add 3 wall layers. We name them X, Y, Z. We configure them very quickly. Your layer 0, the X dimension, your layer 1, you're the Y dimension, your layer 2, Here's the Z dimension, etc. Okay, that should be good. All right, we need to fix this because this does not care about this. Get rid of matches again. All right, we're getting rid of some of this indentation. It feels good. Feels good, man. I just got to the dregs of my coffee. That feels bad, man. Alright. Okay, so this is the part that we need to change. This if ship hull tile blocks is the same as our block type. That we don't care about anymore. We can even get rid of this whole thing. So now we just look around. The outline trick is a little different. This might mess up our outlines a little bit. We need to probably make some additional changes somewhere else. Yeah, this is being a little weird. This is definitely being a little weird. We've seemed to have broken the wall rather than the floor. Interesting. Okay. All right, so what did we do? We changed this. We changed one thing in the wall. Let's see. Well, we changed the scene. So let's make sure we didn't totally mess up some positional stuff. The Z indexing we probably needed to change. Because walls are at render higher than floors. That's probably it, right? Say 2, so that we have a little wiggle room here. Actually, let's not do that here. Let's do that on the actual wall layer scene. See if that helps. Okay, there we go. That was it. It was and now we are perfect. Now we're placing a floor whenever we place a wall. We're placing both, which makes sense. You need a wall if you need a floor if you're going to place a wall. I need to clean up the outlines between them. So, because I don't want an outline between those. Unless they're different material. And we can erase just the wall section and leave the floor. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want. All right, so let's look at the outlining. What am I doing? I remember. We're dealing with get atlas coords. So our problem is we're not actually looking at our Z very much. We're not looking at ourselves. That's the problem. We're only looking at our adjacent faces. We need to see what... Aha, okay. So we're gonna say match block type. We'll do it like this for now, just so I can get the logic, and then we'll break it up. Enum.block.floor pass enum.block.wall pass. Okay. Cannot find member floor in base enum.block. What? It's right here. Enum.block. Oh, floor, capital, all caps. Forgot, it's a constant. There we go. Okay, so if it's a floor, we want to say if tile blocks, or we want to say if hull type's coords is the same hull type's coords is the same as our hull type, as block type. Oh no. If hull type's coords... Oh no. Hull types is incomplete at the moment. Oh no, that should be fine. That should be fine. If hull types. So for a floor, let's say something like if tile blocks coords is a wall. The tile block coordinate, so if the tile here, if we're a floor and above us is a wall, we want to make sure, well then we're just going to get rid of the... We'll need to change what we're doing based on our dimension. For Lansky, you've got to go get ready to go out, celebrate the completion of your overtime project at work, which just netted the biggest possible client for us. Have a good rest of the stream. Bye. That sounds awesome, for Lansky. Joe, go enjoy that. Sounds like you deserve it. And thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub again. Appreciate you always hanging out with us. Have a great evening. So floor layer, I want to make sure we're doing this right. So get hull types. For coords and ship hull tile blocks, if ship hull tile blocks has coords plus opposite block, so that's not exactly right. What are opposite blocks? Opposite blocks dimension. I see. We got to be a little complicated about this because the floors and the walls are on the same coordinate. So that tile block belongs to both of them. So I'm checking the adjacent coordinates, but for certain cases, I actually just want to check the same coordinate. Like if you're a floor and you're checking what's above you, you're still just checking the same coordinate that you're at. You just need to know if that's a... Okay, I got it. I got this. We got an ad starting soon. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break, 2-minute bio break. I'll be right back. Appreciate everyone hanging out. All right, we're back. Thanks for waiting, everybody. Nature calls, you know. Let's have the last regretful drink of our coffee. All right. So we're modifying this so that we are also checking our own coordinate when we are floors and walls. So floors will be checking coordinate above them for certain cases. So we'll say if dimension is, so if we're a floor and our dimension is enum.axis.z, then we want to check so I need to look at this op block constant. Op block 001. I think op block actually needs to be 000. Well, only if you're a floor. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. So if your dimension is enum.axis.z, then you're going to say if ship hull, or we'll say if ship hull dot tile blocks slash coords is enum dot block dot wall. Then our hull type is a middle hull. Else we do want this. We want this whole chunk. We just want to say, I'm going to say this. This should work. This should work for floors. Let's look at walls. That should allow floors to just look at the wall above them, directly above them. And then walls. Walls don't care about this unless you're checking below. But you don't care about checking below for hull types. You would only care about checking below for atlas coords. So let's look at this. All right, so for Atlas chords, oh, ship layer, do you have still have a copy of this function? Oh, you got to get rid of that. Why is this? Oh. So get Atlas chords. Okay, right now we're doing this with a match, which I don't love. So if we are a floor block, we want to say if tile block's coordinates is a wall block. Okay, so there's a bit of a conflict here with adjacent faces. Adjacent faces wants to check the block above us. Or below us. But we actually want to do one of these. Interesting. I think we'll shorten adjacent faces to just be this. Maybe we roll it out a little like we do. I don't remember where we do that. But we rolled this out somewhere. Oh, down here. Because it was different enough for each one, it made sense to just roll it out instead of iterate through an array. There's only 6 things, so this will be 4 things. So maybe it makes sense to do that here as well. Part of me likes iterating, but another part of me is like, it's a array with a length of 4. Do you really need to iterate through that? I mean, obviously the answer is yes if it's like, if all that's changing is one value. But we're doing this a little differently now. So if you're a floor, and if your tile block is a wall, then instead of checking the above, you would just check there. Yeah, I think we do need to roll this out a little bit. I mean, I can just add a skip here as we iterate through. I can say, what are we? I think I want to just structure this differently. So this is going down as well. This is going to get dropped down to the lower level functionality here, which means some of this other stuff needs to as well. Tile block replace does for sure. and the rest of this down. I have fewer things up in the superclass, but that's fine. That's the point of a superclass. It just has common functionality. This is getting more specific. So let's start with the floor. So now we don't have to presume that we don't have to ask whether we're a wall or a floor. We can just know this is for the floor. So we're going to actually have a different adjacent faces function for floors. Or not function, like constant. So let's go grab this. So the floors are going to, we're going to get rid of this. Or we'll just put a 0. We'll just put vector 3.0 at the end. That's a waste of time. Well, we'll just get rid of this. Oh. No, that's right. We're going down here. Here we go. We'll start with this. So we'll say if dimension, oh no, so we do need all of these up here, because we actually, I do just now this. Oh, there we go. I was like, how can I tell if I'm at 100% zoom? It's like right here. So if your dimension is Z, you actually need to do all of these. Actually, we can just leave this like this then, and we can just... So if your dimension X, dimension Y, you do the same thing. So we do this. We just clean this up here. Are you complaining? Oh, adjacent faces already exists. Yeah, that makes sense. You can keep complaining about that. All right, so here we would say if dimension is enum.axis.x, dimension is enum.axis.y. So for either of these, we're going to do a little different. We're going to do this a little differently. We're going to ask if kind of want to ask, we kind of want to figure out, oh Jesus, we kind of need to know about our wall, about what the hull type of our wall is, but that's not something we can know. So maybe that's something we just figure out. We just ask this. Maybe we just figure it out if we need it. We want to get the logic from the wall. This. We need this. We need this chunk right here. I don't think it's feasible for us to go and ask the wall. Maybe we can, though. We'll do that. That'll maybe be an optimization we do later. So the floor needs to know what the hull type of the wall above it is. And it's different than its own hull type. So here we would say if dimension is enum.axis.x or dimension is enum.axis.y, snip that in there. Instead, we'd say something like variable like wall type enum.hull. And here we'll say, so after we do that, we'll ask, is wall type the same as our hull type? Hull types, coords. So we're trying to figure out if the wall above us, if the panel is the same color, essentially. And if it is, then we can get rid of the outline. Song is silly. Song feels very Stardew Valley or something. So if it is, we can increment. We can do this. Dimension is enum.x-axis, so if we're the x-axis face, we flip everything. So if absolute max, we don't have absolute max axis index. We just have, and all that's saying is are we Y or Z? Wait, why do we do it this way? It's the adjacent faces max axis index. So the adjacent faces max axis index in this case is 2. So if it's 2, it'll always be this for this case. Okay, so we can get rid of one of these branches. Here it would be Y. Okay, that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Is Atlas coords not being declared? It is. Oh, increment doesn't exist, so... Let's look here. So this would be 2. 0, 1, 2. Plus 2. This equals 2. Okay, this should cover this case. It's a lot of additional logic just to cover one case. Problem is we also need to do this for the floor. Or no, we are doing it for the floor. We also need to do it for the wall above it. The wall above it needs to check the floor below it. Gotta move all of this over to the wall. Actually, some of this can get thrown back up here. So this, so these, so get source ID, get Atlas coords. Not this. This doesn't need to be here. This can be back up here. Use tile data runtime update. This should be up here with the built-in functions. Adjacent face is the same down here, in which case we can just put it back as well. Oh no, it's the opposite here. Here it's +1 instead of -1 at the end. So it is different. Okay. So you get rid of this. Inheritance is helping us break out conditional logic out of our functions, which is nice, but it does make organizing the scripts a little harder. All right, we're in an ad, so I'm gonna chill for a minute. Oh, we're also almost done. We're almost out of time. Probably wrap it up here. If I can figure out this one last thing, that would be great. And it would be this part. Okay, I think that's it. I think it's using almost the exact same logic as the floor. I just flipped a few things. So that should be it. Let's see what crazy errors we get when we run this. And then I need to wrap up. But let's at least see where we're at. Okay, we got an error here. We're back to this, whatever this effing thing is. That's a mirror problem. What about this though? What do we got over here? Okay, so it's working correctly for the non-mirrored case. But the mirrored case is messed up now. It's messed up in a very particular way. But that's okay. Just hide that. Just hide it. Alright. We can work with that. I'm pretty sure I understand what's happening there. It's happening to both of them, so that's good in a way. It's this chunk down here, just this if dimension is x-axis.x, atlas chords.x plus equal 1. It's this thing. Something about this is not quite right. That's fine. We'll figure that out tomorrow morning. I've got to run, but this has been great. More progress. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to start extra early tomorrow. Try to start 30, 40 minutes earlier than we started today. Try to get I want to get at least 2 hours in a day for streaming. We're only about an hour and a half today. That's not enough for me. So I'll try to start a little extra early tomorrow. But I gotta get ready for work now as well. So it's been great seeing everybody. I really appreciate everyone hanging out for what is another kind of boring stream. But I swear we're gonna get to some exciting stuff soon. It's gonna happen sooner than later. After we figure this stuff out, we get to deal with pathfinding. And that's the good stuff right there. And then I swear we're gonna get to something interesting. All right. But yeah, I gotta run. I'm not gonna raid. I really have to run, so I can't really enjoy that. But I appreciate everyone for hanging out, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye.